So this afternoon, I've got Norm from SellerToolKit with us. SellerToolKit is an amazing piece of software that deals with everything after the point of purchase. So you've used your SaaS app and you've bought the right buy and you know it's profitable and it's not hazmat, etc., etc. You sent it into Amazon and SellerToolKit takes over from here and tells you everything you need to know about numbers, Amazon, how much Amazon owes you, etc., etc. So Norm's just going to go through all of the side settings and briefly describe his fantastic software. Hi, Norm.
Hello. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I'll just going to go through, as Emily said, just each one of these briefly, and we will go into each one in more in depth in other videos. The first screen you're seeing here is the dashboard. Dashboard is simply your at a glance how your business is doing at any point that you want to know. So for instance, the top left widget is your sales. This is something that you'll probably look at the most. Your sales as of today. So if you've got today up there, the last date is updated. This is constantly refreshing. So you've got your profit on the sales today, the sales total amount today, your units sold, and your current ROI based on that profit and your costs. There's lots of other information here, charts. If you hover over, you'll see more information, the profits and stuff. And each widget has 3 dots, so you can change the time period you're looking at. Each one of them has the same menu.
So if I wanted to see, sorry, Norm, so if I wanted to see how I was doing in October compared to September, have you got like a month to date on there or something?
There's a month to date, so exactly right. So if I click on here, if I click anything on the very top widget here, it changes all the widgets. If you just go on a lower widget, it just does that widget. So we just do a month to date. Month to date there. What you're going to see now is a comparison. Now it's a bit slow because we're using the test server right here. This is not a live account. It's all it's probably a bit too slow actually. What you see there is that's month to date. So as of the 26th of October, there's like £1,114 profit, which is 77.5% of the profit on sales of the whole of the previous month.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So in October, I guess I'd want to be about 95% of September by now, thinking about Q4. It's a good, I suppose it's a good base metric to see where you're at in different months.
Yeah, that's right. So you would want to be, and you're going to turn around and say, well, hang on, 77%, I'm like a lot more than 77% through the month. And yes, it's the first month of Q4, so you'd expect it to be a bit higher. Move on to inventory.
Yes. So I just want to say, Norm is using test stock data, so it's not accurate because obviously we don't want to show everyone what Norm is selling on Amazon. So it was a bit slower than mine is because it's all kind of test stuff.
Yeah, well,
otherwise you'd have 1,000 competitors and all your Christmas stock.
I'll tell you what I'll do to speed it up. I'm going to go and do this as live app, but it will still be test data.
Okay. So just while you're doing that, so as you can see, if you've got your username and your password, I can log in on my phone, can't I? And I can see exactly this on my phone if I'm out and about. It's not just on desktop.
No, that's right. What SellerToolKit is what's called a web app. So it's not an app that's tied to like a Windows machine or an iThing machine or a particular Android phone or anything. You can access this with the same web address, the web app sellertoolkit.co.uk, on any browser, on any device, and it will display based on that device. So it will look like a lot different to what it looks like here, you have exactly the same information.
Yeah,
So
I have to say, I've got a bit of an addiction. So if I'm on a family day out, I will slightly have a little look to see how it's going. Hands up,
yeah,
still do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that what people are used to doing, I think, especially with the Amazon app, is like do a pull down to do a refresh. You don't need to do that in STK because it auto refreshes for you. So there's no need to keep pulling it down, because that just wastes time, because it then loads all the code back in and everything. So you just like pick it up, and if you want to wait, it's about every 30 seconds you'll see these. The last update was at 2:06:30.
And it's 2:06 exactly now. Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's have a little look through the. So there's your dashboard. We will have more in-depth videos about how everything works, because you've got an alarm bell up there that's got some fantastic stuff. So this is just like an overview, so that you can make a decision as to whether you want to have a go at STK and whether it's something that you're interested in learning more about. So that's your dashboard. Then you've got an inventory.
Inventory, right. So if you go into inventory, you've got everything that you've ever had on every single listing you've ever had. Even if you deleted a listing, you'll still see the listing here.
Oh, that's
and then you've got down here lots of different filters of what's in stock, what's inbound, reserved. So if I click on the in stock, for instance, it says 122. That means there's 122 listings. There's not 122 individual units. It's 122 listings that you have in stock. So you've got your available and inbound and transfer, which is showing here.
That's awesome.
And so anything that's available is there. You've got a simple to the right here. You've got a simple profit and loss on that particular item at any one time. And of course, it's telling us there's no cogs, because I haven't set the cogs up on those. Again, as a demo, but it'll tell you what your profit and ROI is. But that's just for the UK market, or it would be just for your main market. If you want to look at all the markets, you just like flick that open, and it gives you all the markets and all your profit and losses per market. Now, this will look slightly different if you haven't got a repricer, because we've got repricer rules and repricer ons and offs. You'll just see from your price across to last update.
So if I wanted to review every 6 months of the stuff that I no longer sell, just to see if it's suddenly back in stock or profitable to buy again, I can literally go into my out of stock items, give it to my VA, and there's a list of everything I've sold, because sometimes deals come and go, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. So you've got all those different filters there for exactly that. So you can go into stuff that's out of stock and do for a search, and
really good.
It will also show up what we were saying in your replen as well. But yeah, you've got items that have now got no stock, you never bother replenning, they'll drop out of the in stock, obviously, and they'll be showing up in your out stock.
Because chocolate's a perfect example. I don't touch chocolate between sort of April and September. I don't sell it, I don't stock, because it just melts. So it's something that I kind of need to go back and remember what I was stocking before. So that's perfect.
Right.
That's awesome. And what about your replenish tab? What's your next tab? Because I love this is my favorite tab of all. I use this on a day basis. Love it.
Replen. Okay. A few people ask me why are these charts here. That's one of the questions I get a lot. And I don't know how you use it, Emily, but from a very simple glance, you can see that that's going. The sales are going up, which means it's something that you probably want to be thinking about replenishing. So this particular item here, and then why it's showing, you're saying like you had 15 orders in the last 7 days, but you've got nothing inbound and nothing available. Yeah. I mean, that should have told you that you needed to replenish that ages ago. So again, like this is a demo, so it's not real. So the thing is that you'd normally see that you've already got some available, because you would have replenished that at some point. You've got a little calculator here as well, so you can type in. So if you went off to your site to say, well, how much is it now? And you find out that the unit price has actually gone up to £7, for instance, then it will come back with a calculation, which it hasn't done, which is fantastic for a demo.
I put a post on this the other day. I managed to find a replenishable for £5. I used to buy it every time from the same supplier at full price. And I managed to get a voucher code with honey, took it down to £4, and you can literally see the ROI went from 71% to 111%, just because I'd managed to source it with a voucher code. So it does work. It's
Yeah,
really handy as a quick see.
yeah, it's good because you can overtype any of these. So if you overtype the unit price, for instance, because it's gone up, then you can say, well, what do I need to sell it for to make the same profit and whatever. So you can type in a figure into any of these, and it will calculate all the other figures.
So I've got a question from a user perspective. It says that you've got 150, obviously it's demo data, but it says that you've got 152 items to replenish. Now I look at this probably twice a day, if I'm honest. I really lean heavily on it because about 90% of my products are replenishables, and I've got 85. So how do I know which are the most important ones to replenish? Do you have it set in an order so that you can?
This is in order of the most, the top one is the one that you need to replenish.
Perfect.
Right away, and it goes into an order where you say, like, you know, it gets less and less. But if you see this, it's 0, 0. You got 15, the very first one. The next one's 14 in the last 7 days, and you've got 0. So they are really exactly the same priority. Yeah.
So I tend to replenish when it says that I've got about maybe that one there. Perfect. If you scroll up a little bit, sorry, that's perfect. So you've got 5 available, 17 sold. I would have replenished it before this point, but it's better to do it before you run out so that you've got the crossover where your stock arrives.
So it might look like this the very first time you start using this replen, but the more you use it, the less you're going to see it like this. It'll say, well, you've got 17. You've sold 17 in 7 days, you've got 20 available, but then it'll come up and say, well, you haven't got enough for 34 days.
Yeah. It's got a Playmobil with a square down there. What does that bit mean on the next one down?
Right, so if you set up your cogs so that you have your supplier in there and the link to where you bought it, then you can just click on there and it will take you to the place that you bought it.
Perfect.
So you can check out the price, the new price, and see if it's still £7.
That's so, especially if you use lots of smaller retailers or independent retailers, you haven't got to worry about remembering where you found it.
Exactly. Provided you put it on your cog sheet, or you put it in your cogs in the edit feature. So as long as you record that information, then you've got that information, an STK to be able to go off and you automatically go directly to that shop or the supplier or whatever. So, you bought it on.
So your next tab is add inventory. Is that literally what does what it says on the tin?
It says coming soon.
Ah, okay. I was going to say I don't use that one. Okay, I don't add my inventory.
That will allow us to just, rather than going through the process that we do at the moment when we're adding inventory, which is like such a long process of adding inventory on Amazon. You have to go through, put your ASIN in, then whether it's new or used, and then you have to like say, you know, whether your soap has got batteries or not, so all that kind of rubbish will all be done straight away for you.
Oh wow, that's good.
Very quick, click, add.
Perfect. I look forward to that coming out. Then you've got your orders.
Orders.
Oh wow, that's got loads of drop down. Wow, pending, shipping. That's really detailed.
Yes, so you've got everything there.
Sorry, if I can just say what I'm getting from an overview is that you can drill as much into your data as you want to, or as if you want an overview, you can. It's kind of suits everyone. I know people that really like to know every penny and every subcategory, and others just kind of want to know where roughly they are. This kind of suits both characteristic types, doesn't it?
Exactly. I'm trying to put in as many filters in here as possible so you can just drill down. You've got a calendar, so you can drill down to any particular day or month.
I didn't know that. I didn't use that bit. Oops, I've learned something.
Really? There we go. So, and of course, then you can drill it down by marketplace as well.
Oh wow. Okay, that's it.
And also on the side, I'm not sure how pictures are over it. You can do by FBA and FBM as well.
Oh wow.
So FBM to UK, say just in the last week, for instance.
Wow. That's really exciting.
Nothing. So if I do FBA, then they'll come up there, like 136. So.
Okay, that's awesome. And I like the fact that you've got available and inbound. Is that so? That's kind of what's on its way to Amazon.
Or what's that's right. So this will have a countdown. So you're showing now that after that order there, you've got 36 available, none inbound.
Oh, that's good.
So you'll see countdowns on some of these, but because it's a bit randomized, it's not going to look that great. But there are some, if you're out of stock there, for instance,
Oh, okay.
that was the last item you had. You just sold it today, just a couple of hours ago, and now boom, you're out of stock on that. So you want to be.
That's really interesting. That works with all everything seems to interlink. It seems like everything feeds into everything else. That's really good. That's
absolutely
really
does. That's right. Yeah.
So we'll have a look now at the dreaded cost of goods. I use STK, as I said, on a daily basis. It can seem a little bit daunting at first, but if Norm's got a help video, I'm sure you probably flag it on here somewhere. Norm's got a help video that's really good. If you literally follow it letter by letter, you'll get it. And I can upload. I had 16 boxes I sent in on Monday, and it took me about 15 minutes to add all the cogs in. It's not a long process, and that was hundreds of SKUs. It's not a long process once you follow it. It's just maybe a bit daunting. Just follow his video.
Yeah, I think people who are just not used to spreadsheets and downloading files may find it a little bit daunting, as you say. But we're now moving towards being able to add your cogs directly online, and this is what this is now. So when we come onto the sheet, I'll explain. You're going to see it's pretty much the same. So you've got all your cogs, your missing cogs, and your replen check cogs. So every time you add something to Amazon now, it'll create a cog. It'll be an empty cog. It'll be under missing. So in other words, you just will go in here, and then you would do the edit and process on here right now is a bit cumbersome because it's a bit long-winded. So
I use that when I suddenly realise I've got the wrong VAT amount, or I've forgotten to have a postage. I use that.
It's not too bad for doing quick changes, but it's not ideal if you're adding 1 or 2 items a day. This works perfectly. If you're adding 30 items a day, you're much better doing a spreadsheet at the moment. However, this will be so easy in a few days, maybe a week or so, where it will have presets that will just automatically set your prep costs and stuff like that, and you can just whiz through it and add in your costs. But then if you are adding in costs, your prep costs, your delivery costs, your supply links, sometimes that's easier just to do it on the spreadsheet, because you might have all that information on your own purchase spreadsheet that you can just copy across.
So this is like everything else with STK. If you want to do, you've got 2 or 3 ways to do the same thing depending on how you like to use it. So I look forward to that new thing coming out, but I'm kind of a spreadsheet person. I've found it's so quick. For me, it's so quick and easy. Now I understand. I didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I get it. Yeah. But there will be people who don't want to do that. So you can do it whichever way you like, which is really, really, really good.
Yeah. And then the replen check. What replen check is that this is somewhere where you've bought the item at some point in the past, and so it's noticed that you sent some more in the shipping, and you may have paid £7 for it the first time, but now you're paying £6.50 for it. So you need to change the cog for that new tranche of items.
Why do you need to do that? What's that do?
Right. So the way STK works is it uses a first in, first out method. Okay. So it knows that if you bought 10 items at £7, it knows that the first 10 orders are going to have a cog of £7.
Oh wow, that's really clever.
And then the next 10 you bought at £6.50. Those next 10 orders are going to have a cog of £6.50. And you don't have to keep going in and checking and going in and changing your current cog, and know that you're on your 11th one, and you've got to go in and quickly change your cog on there. That's it just does it all for you. So what you're doing is you're putting your cost in based on that tranche of items. So what this does, this is just like a quick process. So you don't have to actually go in and start putting in cogs in. If you're buying the same replen week in, week out, and it's always £10, and you're always buying it from Tesco's, then this will just copy the data from your last cog, put it in here, and it says check cog. And what it means by check cog is saying, do you want to keep it at that price, or do you want to edit it? And if you say no,
if you suddenly find something on a clearance rack in Sainsbury's and it's got a good end date or expiry date, that STK would know that if you put that information in here.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, but you know, but that would be like come under missing if that was a new SKU. But if it was a SKU that you're always replenishing, you're going to see it on here quite a few times. So if you sent in 10 last week, and the beginning of this week you send in another 5, and then today you send in 3, then you're going to see 3 entries for that same cog, that same SKU, which will be the 10, the 5, and the 3. And if you pay the same amount of money for those, the cogs will all say, yeah, they're all £10. They'll all have a purchase date, which will be based on the date you shipped it in or the first time you added it to your inventory. So it just picks up whatever date that was. It has the quantity there filled in for you because that's based on shipping. And if I said, yeah, no, I did, that's correct, I'll just do check.
Oh,
check,
wow. Okay.
check, that's fine. And just click on save.
That's awesome. I do this within the spreadsheet.
Yeah,
it's the
exactly.
same thing, isn't it?
The
So
same thing.
okay, so I think we need to move on to the repricer. Now I know I'm hugely lucky. I've been a beta tester in this, and I cannot begin to tell everyone what it's done for my business. It's brought my business. It's brought sustainability and predictability. So it's made more sales, but every day is like that now. My previous repricer, I had some really good days, some really bad days, middle, up, down, up, down, up, down. STK's gone up, and then just literally just kept me. I can almost predict what I'm going to do next week, what I'm going to do tomorrow, and yeah, I know I'm very lucky. But it's coming soon, so it's worth the wait.
It's
I promise.
Yeah, just to make sure everyone realizes, this is actually going to be an add-on subscription. It's not part of STK. But we'll go into that another day. Yeah,
but it is coming soon. Norma's promised it here. We can pin him down. We got it. No, it's fine. Feedback. I don't use the feedback one. I touch wood, I don't get much negative feedback. Maybe that's why. What does that one do?
Right, you will get a notification in your alerts if you've had bad feedback. This is when this is some feedback. It's not good feedback. Amazon doesn't give you the good feedback. Your good feedback. It only gives you your bad feedback.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to have good feedback, it will give the feedback for that item for anybody for any store. Yeah, so it's pointless. So what this does is that you'll get a notification say you just received bad feedback. And if you did, you just click on here, or you click on the notification, it'll take you right there.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good.
And then so you'll see all the feedback, bad feedback you've had. On this particular account, like nothing's happened since the 19th of April. And it gives you the ratings. So bad feedback, or what they call neutral feedback. This is actually a neutral to bad feedback report. Is anything that's rating of 1, 2, or 3. 4 and 5 is good and excellent. So anything that's 1, 2, and 3, you want to try and get rid of. And the simple thing to do here is that you just if you wanted to get rid of that, you click on there. That'll take you directly to the Amazon page where you just click on the drop-down list for that particular item there and just say remove feedback. And
oh wow! So you're cutting out the whole kind of go to Amazon, open a case, or you're going direct to it. And I don't think we can do it now because we're not set up to do it here. But it will literally have what you need to say, and you literally copy, paste, send, forget about it.
Well, there's actually nothing to copy paste at that point. What happens is because when you go to bad feedback, it has a list very similar to this, and to the right of that list, it will have a drop-down menu. And it will say something along the lines, I can't remember, like I said, it's 19th of April, this one here. Something like request feedback removal or something like that. You click on that, and then a robot in Amazon will work out whether it's feedback that needs removing or not. And 99% of the time it will say it's been scrubbed out.
If it isn't scrubbed out, it tells you, and you just simply press raise case, and it
yes, exactly right.
I've had some which have refused, and then a human being has a look at it and goes, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Always raise a case. If that comes back as no, raise a case. Yeah.
It's good to know about it. So if you don't check your feedback every single day, this is the place where you can suddenly realise, because some of them really should be removed. So you don't want it sitting on your account for any longer than necessary. So it's a really good kind of first alarm bell to say it's even there.
Yeah, and you only get a certain amount of time to get rid of them as well. So you've got to act quickly. So although I don't know if you can see it, whether it's hidden or not, but the notifications up there is 382. Now that's because, again, it's like because of the way I'm running things on the test, but you need to keep that down and just click that once a day. Check what's in there, and if you've got a bad feedback in there, you know.
There is while we're on the alarm bell, one of the most useful pieces of alert that I find is it's a T shape, and it's where the prices, where the descriptions changed. So if somebody has decided to turn a bundle that was 2 into a bundle of 4 and changes either the photograph or the description, that's where you find out, and you can pull your stock, freeze it, do whatever take whatever action you need to take, but it tells you it's happened. The number of times, the only time I realise a bundle's changed is when a customer says I was expecting 5 and I got 4, and you're like, okay, I didn't realise. That is fantastic. That alarm. I can take action within minutes.
Everyone has that problem at least once, if not many times.
And it's the most frustrating thing ever.
The title has changed, and nobody's realised the title has changed. And you've got, as Emily said, you've got bundles of 2. And then the title actually should be bundles of 4, and you're sending bundles of 2 out to people. So why that happens, I don't think anybody is ever going to know. I have wasted so many hours complaining to Amazon saying that the title was this, why has it changed? And all they will do is say, please point us to the manufacturer's website to show that it's actually 2 and not 4. And you think, but it's a bundle.
I gave up that fight a long time ago. So now I just look out for that T sign, and it just basically, like everything with STK, it just gives you the opportunity to take action really quickly. It's like a really good preventative thing for avoiding other problems. So what's next? What's the report? What are the reports? What's reports?
Well, this is where you will come to download your cog sheet for the very first time, and to open up the reports request dialog, you just click on there, and then you've got a list of different reports that you can get. So you've got cost of goods update list and the cost of goods full list. Now the full list is that it's everything that you've got, everything that you've put on, you've added to Amazon at any time. That full list will have all your SKUs, whether you updated the SKU in the past or not, whether you updated the cog or not. So it's absolutely everything will be on that sheet. So if you wanted to know all your costs, you could just download that sheet. The update list is those that you've added or just replenished. So they'll be like similar to what we're talking about on the screen, the cost of goods page, which is the missing, which means they're new items you've never stocked before, or the replen checks, which are stuff that you're replenning and you've sent a new tranche and you need to add in your new cogs if necessary.
Perfect.
Inventory load back codes, we'll go on to that another day if you're VAT registered. Amazon fulfilled inventory report, that's really good because what that is, you can click on that for any day in the past and it will download your stock take for that day and include your cogs. So you've got a stock take and valuation for any particular day. That's really
good in your accounts. That's really good.
Exactly. Your accountant, your accountant will want this at year end, and when you're changing from sole trader to limited and limited onto something else or whatever, you have a cut-off point. So your accountant will always ask for a stock take, a stock valuation of a particular day, and that's what that's there for, really.
You miss if you go back, my favorite report is the replenishables report, which is if you like to hold like 45 days of something. We will do a video on this because I think this is priceless, this report, but it tells you how many of each SKU you need to buy in order to hold 45 days, 60 days, 7 days, whatever, and it will tell you how much you need to spend. So if you've got money that you want to spend, it will tell you how many you need to buy for a longer period of time. And if money's a little bit tight, you can cut your stock down to maybe 10 days, and it will tell you how much you need to spend and how many you need to buy. That is a fantastic little report. I love it.
So you can also base it on 3 different averages. So there's an average 30-day average, a 90-day average, and an average which is actually based. If you're a really big seller, you'd use the other average, which is an average which is based on while you were in stock, how many you sold.
Oh wow. Okay, I've got to use
Last
that bit.
days.
I'll have a look with that. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know, if you're selling a lot, then that's the one you really want to use, because if you go out of stock or something for 10 days over a 30-day period, then if you average it over 30 days, you're actually going to be getting 2/3 rather than the full amount. Do you know what I mean? So it does a real calculation. Well, you actually were already in stock for 20 days, so I'll average out those 20 days over what would have been a 30-day period. I
didn't even think about that. That's a really important thing to consider. I didn't even think about that. That's really clever.
Yeah.
Awesome. So okay, so we will do a video where we will go into the reports and show what they all do. But that's a really good place to get your data, I suppose, is the best way to put that, I guess. So this next tab, I've taken over doing your. I'm introducing all your tabs. Sorry, it's because I love it. I genuinely.
It's better. It's much better coming from the user than me, because I know it so well. I'm not sure if I can like get as enthusiastic.
No, I genuinely love this software. So FBA reconciliation is probably the most important tab of all. And this one, sorry, someone's coming through the door. This is the most important tab of all. So it will, when Amazon owes you money, this is where you go and get it. I'll let Norm explain. But for me, I make 3 to 4 times the cost of STK in reconciliation. So STK pays for itself 3 times over every single month just by this alone. And I've tried to do it manually and it's hideous. So I will let Norm go into the detail. It's brilliant.
Right. Very quickly, you're going to what you hear a lot is about how Amazon do not reimburse you. It's not true. Amazon do reimburse you. They reimburse you on virtually all items. But now and then they will not. Their systems are pretty bad. So what this process does is to find the flaws in their system of where they are not reimbursing you when they should have done. So most of the time, like I said, they'll reimburse you. So if you look at this first page here, which is the all page, it will tell you like you've got 2 green ticks there. So there's no inventory missing and there's no reimbursements overdue. There's nothing pending, nothing past due. So
what a beautiful but rare sight.
Yes. Excess inventory, we'll come on to that when we go into this, into a deep dive into this. But the only one you really want to be concentrating on right now is reimbursement overdue. So if I click on that filter, it's going to tell me all the items where I need to raise a case. So it's saying I've got 8 missing, I've got 5 overdue and 3 pending. So I know.
What do you mean by overdue?
Overdue with Amazon, they have certain number of days for they give themselves a leeway of the time limit that they need to reimburse you by, and normally it's 30 days for lost or damaged items. So if they've broken something or the distributor's broken something, it comes up as distributor damaged, carrier damaged, warehouse damaged, maybe even customer damaged. You can get I can't remember the difference now, but some customer damage is reimbursable. And so what all the damages, they allow themselves 30 days. So that pending there means that 3 of the items, 3 of the reimbursement that's due will probably be down to distributor damage or whatever, but they haven't gone past their 30-day limit. So they may come in.
So Amazon have basically still got time to rectify it themselves.
They've exactly right. They've got time to they're still within time. So those 3 there, they're still within time to reimburse. If those 30 days pass on those 3 items, then those 3 items will go into overdue, and so you'll see 18 overdue and 0 in pending, for instance. And so what you do there is that you can go in to the full.
Love this.
You can go into the full list. You open this up. And It's not this slow. That's just a
No.
video. It came up immediately on my other screen. Right. So what you do, this gives you the whole overview of where the reimbursements are due. So there's your 3 pendings there. So one is damaged warehouse or distributor, and 2 of them are lost at warehouse. So you're just going to wait until those reimbursements come in. But the ones that are over, you've got 4 damaged warehouse. In fact, 4 warehouse damaged and 1 lost inbound. Now, the lost inbounds are a little bit different. You can't claim them on this particular process that I'm showing you here, because lost inbound, you have to claim directly with the fulfillment center rather than Seller Central. But that will be part of the shipping reconciliation, which is coming soon. So there are definitely 4 that need to be reimbursed. So all you need to do.
And that's quite a lot of money. That's £39.
Yeah.
That's not a few pence that you can let go. That's a significant sum.
But, yeah, that's right. The cog on that is 37.
So actually, if Amazon came back and said, yes, I'm so sorry, here's the money, that would cover a whole month of STK, wouldn't it? Just that one.
The rest, because that's 4 of them.
Yeah.
That's 100.
Oh wow! Oh, I thought that was 4. Oh wow! I thought it was 4 at £10. Oh wow! So sorry, I'm a bit shocked. So that's 120.
I think so. No. You might be right. I'm probably reading it wrong. But yeah, because So
that looks like it's something like £9.95 an item.
Yeah, that's right. I've got the picture over that. That's right. So yeah.
It still covers your STK in that one reimbursement.
Yeah, and that's overdue. That's reimbursements that you would not have known that you were due.
So I don't know about anyone else, but before I found this software and this feature, I used to get we used to get a notification from Amazon. I used to have to go in and find out every day. So you have to go looking. Then I used to get my diary out, and customers have 45 days to return. Warehouse damage has 30 days. I used to take my calendar and count the days, and then then you had to work out which ones they have reimbursed you for, which ones are overdue. And even if you're the most particular person with spreadsheets or a diary, you're always going to miss some. It's not possible to manually keep up with this. And the bigger you are, certainly the less chance you've got of actually being able to keep up. So I get anything between £75+ per month in overdue reimbursements that I would have missed without this.
Yes, exactly. And it is items that you can miss. And there is a manual process which people use. I used before, which was where you get the inventory adjustment report from Amazon, and then you filter on D, M, and E, and then you chop them up into 5. You might have, if you do that, I was doing it once every 3 months, and you'll have probably 200 items on there. And then you have to chop them up to 5, and so you have to end up sending 40 cases, and it's like, that's a pain.
Yeah, and don't they warn you if you do more than 5? Don't you have to wait for those 5 to be addressed before you can?
You can get into trouble. You can get into
the wheel. It's no point.
What I did notice, it might be just complete coincidence, but every time I did that, and I sent off lots of emails to get, loads in one go, say 20 in one day, my sales or our sales for the next few days would be terrible.
Oh, what, like Amazon punishing you?
Well, it always felt like that. And it was just like, no, it can't be. It really can't be. And then it would happen again. I'm thinking, that's too much. No, I don't believe it is, but it could be constant. But you can get told off by setting up too many cases in a short period. So
I do this every day. So in that alarm bell sign at the top, it will say reimbursement overdue. And I probably get one every 2 days, one a day, one every 3 days, like small chunks. And I literally go through the process one at a time. Amazon don't punish me. And sometimes I get reimbursed within 45 minutes, an hour. You get a message going, yes, thank you, have the money back. It's really quick.
And the thing is, like I said, it's money you would never have had. And if you did it manually, it's a pain. And they do miss it. I have tested this process where we were doing the manual process. And when I got this working a year ago, I started seeing these coming up, and I thought, hang on, they told me that was, I've now got evidence to say that it was missing, because when you put these cases in the old way, you'd get an email back saying there's no reimbursements due, this one, there's one, or whatever, but you had no way of proving that. With this you have. And then what happened, I started doing claims for stuff that I've claimed before. They said there was nothing due.
Yeah.
And because I had all the transaction numbers here, I won the case.
Yeah.
They
So
found it because
what happens if you put your 3 little dots down? Do you have to decide what to write?
Right. So if we do raise case here, what comes up is your.
Wow. And you haven't typed any of that in now. That's all.
No, it's got all the information there. So it's saying like Amazon damage. It says adjustments 8, reimbursements 4, missing reimbursements 4, lost.
Oh, it's got the dates in there and everything. That's got everything you need.
Dates, and here we've got here is the date transaction, inventory adjustment transaction numbers. So they can't ask you for anything else but the date and the transaction number where those adjustments were made. Now, all you do there is that you click on here, it will take you to the Amazon Contact Us page, as it says. You click on here, and then it's copied at the clipboard, so you just paste that into your subject on your case, and you click that, and the same thing, that's copied, that blurb there, into your clipboard. You just paste that into your email or your case email and press send, and that's it.
And once 30 seconds, not even that.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you say, you're doing this on like every time one comes up, like every few days, you just do that, bang, 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 solve it. And once your case comes up, they give you a case number. You basically like on the case number, you just slide along, cut and paste it into your case ID here, whatever that is. Right, so then it will say save. I do save. It will then say that's the last case there, the case number and the case you wrote.
So I tend to revisit stuff every 2 months. If there's a case I raised in August, I'll have another go at the end of October, and it probably won't get through, but you never know. It takes 2 minutes, and it's maybe worth a shot.
Yep.
Awesome. So let's have a look at is that everything on that tab? I know we'll go into more detail.
There's a lot of information on this reconciliation page here that will just tell you everything. It tells you there's no orders here where customers are returned, but it will tell you here whether everyone wants to know if a customer got refunded, did I get my item back? Where did it go? Did it go back into inventory? Did I get reimbursed? Well, this here doesn't say, there's nothing here, but here it will tell you where it is, where it went.
Awesome. That's a really good piece of kit to have a look at. We will go through some examples in more detail in each of the tabs. So we've got upload cogs. That was part of your. We discussed that when you're uploading your cogs. If you're doing it on the spreadsheet, it's a drag and drop. It's a bit complex for what we want to talk about here. It's an overview, but it is quick and easy to use once you know how. So we will show you how probably the next video or one after that maybe. What's users? So what does users achieve?
Right. Well, if you're on the level 1 subscription, you are able to have up to 3 extra users. So you can have yourself as your main user. It's not included here, and then you might want your partner included. So you just add them here. Just go in here.
Oh, okay. So going back to the conversation we had about stock and inventory. So if I want my VA to look at what I sold in October last year, I can just give her access to my STK and she can do it all and see it all. And
you can do exactly that. You just give them a unique email, and you set their password. They can't set their passwords.
Oh, that's really clever. So if
they can't change their passwords or anything like that.
That's really
clever. You've got their login details, some personal info that you want to add, what their position is, their Slack ID or whatever. So you've got it all there if you want to. And in settings are your access settings. So you can say what access and edit access they have. So you could give like full access, which is set there so it sets everything on, or if I turn everything off, and then I can just decide which ones I want. So,
oh wow, okay, that's really good.
I'm not letting them see the dashboard, for instance. I'm not letting them see inventory, or I'm not going to let them update prices. I'll just let them do replenish.
Sorry, I didn't talk over you. So you can use that. So if you like, I like to keep a bit of control. I'm a bit of a control freak, so I like to do a lot of stuff. But if you're someone who's looking to automate your business and wants a laptop lifestyle and just literally wants hands off, and you trust your VA or your business partner or whatever, you can literally give them this and just everything will be fine.
Yep, and so exactly, so full access or next to no access. You know, you might want your one, you know, you might not want them to go in and change users and stuff, for instance. You know, you take that off.
What's the blocked thing? Can you block someone then if they've sort of abused?
Yeah, because like if straight away, like if you decide that VA, you just sacked them, and you don't want them access at all, bang.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's awesome.
So yeah, you get 3 users on the basic level 1, which is, I think, is plenty.
Oh yeah, I can only use 2. I think me and a VA. So what's your expenses? I know that's coming soon.
That is exactly what it says. Oh dear, I'm giving it away because I'm using this. This here should have said coming soon, but because we're on the demo thing, it's actually coming up here with like.
Is that what it's going to look like? Okay, right, okay.
Something along these lines, yes. Something along these. So you got description, category, the VAT rate, the start and end date, whether it occurs or not, and your amount, your VAT amount, and total amount. And so you can just edit, clone, delete them from here. Awesome. So that. There is how you set them up, and then there'll obviously be
but that's going to take a little while because obviously you're getting the repricer sorted, and you've got some work on the cogs. So it's coming, but just not quite yet. Yeah, what's the in-app purchases? What's that for?
In-app purchases. This is where you can buy your extras. Now, when the repricer goes live, there will be a box in here for where you can sign up to the repricer. A lot of people have downloaded extra data, so when you sign up with the basic, you normally get 1 month's worth of back data, and for a small amount of money, like $5 or something like that, it is for a month. So you can go back as far as 18 months. The reason it's cut off at 18 months is because Amazon, you may have noticed yourself, if you go into some Amazon reports, you can only go back as far as 18 months. Some you can go back for a lifetime, but with the way SD works and the data that Amazon providing, the real data you need, the financial data, only goes back 18 months. So loading any more data beyond that is not going to give you the right results. So we just cut it off at 18 months. And so you would just use this download here, and it will tell you how far you want to go. So it might say
I bought 3 months. I think I joined you in October of 2019. I think I was one of the first beta testers, although I didn't know at the time. And so I've been using it for over a year now. And I think I just took it back to like April, start of the tax year. I think I did. So I bought sort of 6 months or something like that. Yeah.
The thing is, though, you've got to know is that you've got to realise is that it's 18 months. Not 18 months from the day you signed up. It's 18 months from today. It's always today. So if you joined up today and you wanted you had 18 months data that you wanted, you better get in and order to get that 18 months, because every day that goes by, you've lost a day drops off. And it's not like to make you to buy it or anything like that. It's just the fact that STK can only go back 18 months to get certain data.
It's an Amazonism. That's what I started to call them. All these weird control over. Yeah. Okay, so once your repricer go live, it will be in there. And what's the last one? What's SellerAmp?
SellerAmp. Well, we know SellerAmp is sourcing software, and by Al Carlton, and myself have decided to join our services up. And there's going to be a lot of new features coming over the months, but obviously I'm busy doing stuff for STK. Al's very busy getting SaaS up to real scratch so it can beat anything out there. Same with STK.
Yep.
So once we've got to a really good level, we're again going to be building a lot more integration. So where you can add stuff directly from, instead of putting it from a spreadsheet into Google, and then uploading it into Amazon, you can just like fire it straight into STK, into the add inventory, for instance, and you just say, add that inventory.
So if you are already a SaaS user, when you scan something on the extension, I can't remember on the mobile app, but definitely on the extension, at the bottom of it, it will have, if you've ever sold it, it will bring up STK's data, your last sale, your last amount, how much the last sale was, when it last was, and things like that. So it's kind of working the other way, but it's got to kind of work together in full. But it's definitely a good piece of software. One is before you purchase, and STKs after, but they definitely work together and make an awesome team. In fact, actually, in terms of software, this is all I have. I run a 6-figure business just with SAS and STK, nothing else in terms of software. It does everything I need. So yeah,
pretty much the same as us at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's all you need. Brilliant. Okay, so that's really exciting. So there's lots of things. So so just quickly, anyone who has STK, can they just fiddle about and work things out and press buttons? Well, they can't break it, can they?
There's nothing to break. Okay. The only thing you can ever break on here is by setting up your cogs incorrectly. And if you do that, then big deal. You just correct them and reload your file, reload them. And every time you reload your cogs, it does a full calculation. So if you updated a cog of a SKU that you bought and set up 2 years ago, but too far, but 6 months ago, and you said, oh my God, that price has always been wrong. You get your sheet, or you go directly online and change that cog. So you had it at £12 and you actually bought it for £8. Put your £8 in, and it will just recalculate everything.
So you can float around and have a look at, because I think most people probably wouldn't know how much Amazon owes them. So they can have a float around what's due, what's overdue, what's coming up. You can have a look at replenishing. Maybe people don't quite know how much of something they hold or how much they don't hold. Maybe people over or underestimate how much they hold. And the other, so how much is STK? Is there a free trial, or how would people test it out if that's
well, yeah, the actual price, the basic price is £32.99 a month now. If you're using Emily's link, and you get 1 month's backdate. If you use Emily's link, you're going to get it at a 20% lifetime discount, and you get an extra 2 months, which is a total of 3 months backdata. So
wow, that's worth that alone. I didn't.
Everyone keeps asking if it's a grandfather. It's not grandfather because things may go up in time.
Yeah.
But you'll always be on a 20% discount of the full price.
Wow.
That will change. There's not going to be a lifetime discount for very long. That will change. It will just be maybe 6 months or so, and then go to full price. So it will change.
Okay. And is there a free trial so they can, because I think STK is one of those things where you kind of think you need it and you can see its value, but once you actually use it, I bet almost no one leaves. I bet once you're in, you just, I couldn't run my business without it. So is there a way to trial it out free?
14 days. 14 days. You do sign up. You sign up with your PayPal account or your credit card, soon be by direct debit, and nothing gets charged you in 14 days. You've got freedom to do most everything on here, apart from reconciliation. Reconciliation is only available once you're a full subscriber.
Okay.
But you'll have everything on there to be able to play around with them. And I've said this before in a number of different interviews, that STK came about because there was nothing on the market. I didn't have a clue where our business was. No. Didn't have a clue where our inventory was. Didn't have a clue about EFN fees, whether we're making a profit or not. And when I fired this up first, 3 years ago, it really highlighted how bad some of our items were, because we thought, oh my God, every morning we used to wake up and there was this particular item, like Saturday, used to sell on Saturday in France. We don't know why, but we sell tons of them. And we thought we were making a massive profit. We were making a profit, but it was nothing like we thought it was until we got STK on. But it was still it's still one of our biggest sellers we've ever had, but we've not sold it for 2 years.
On a Saturday morning in France. How random.
It was like that every single Saturday we sold.
Wow. So I'm a real firm believer in the fact that my group is the Amazon knowledge bank. So I'm a massive believer in knowledge. Without knowledge, you can't take action. So STK will tell you where you are with your profit and your loss. It will tell you how much money Amazon owe you. It will tell you if title changes. What you get out of it is entirely up to you, but it literally tells you everything you need to grow your business to a really substantial size. There's nothing out there, anything like this. There's other softwares do a couple of bits and bobs, not as well, and certainly not in all in one place. So this is definitely the go-to software.
Yeah, I will say one thing as well, is that VAT, most softwares can't handle VAT. Most
Okay.
they can't handle VAT. And this handles all the different levels of VAT, whether you're not registered for VAT, standard VAT, or flat rate.
There was there was something I had to do for Link My Books for my accountant to do with VAT, and I sat there and I had to manually change every single over 1,000 SKUs, manually put in the VAT code, 20%, 5%, or 0%. It took me like 3 hours, and then Norm went, "Oh, you can do that in the click of a button," and I did it in STK, and it took me like 3 minutes, and I was yeah. But I literally had to sit there in Link My Books and link it to Xero, and I had to click 1,000 in, I think it was like 19 pages and like 10 per page, something stupid like that. And I sat there for hours, and then so now it's one of the reports, and I literally run it every Monday, so that anything new that's involves VAT is up, and it's in Amazon within about 3 minutes. Yes, I learned my lesson.
It's very important if you are VAT registered. Nobody seems to tell you this. I found out the wrong way, and I've tried to tell everyone as much as I can. I'll say it here, is that you have to set your own VAT code up on your listing. So if you're standard rate, then you don't have to set anything. It will be automatically standard rate. But if it's a 0% or a 5%, you need to set that. Otherwise, it will be set as standard rate.
So standard is 20%, isn't it?
20%.
We all think standard is 0, but standard is actually 20%.
Yes, exactly. So if you're selling packs of cornflakes, which are 0%, and you had the standard VAT on your listing, you hadn't changed that to 0 VAT, somebody who's VAT registered with Amazon as a business will buy your cornflakes at net of VAT.
Yep.
Which means you're losing money. Because instead of getting your £10 for your box of cornflakes, you're getting £8.33. Yep. So you've just lost that money. And that might have been your profit, because there's a small item that might well have been your profit. So you must, if you're VAT registered, full VAT registered, not flat rate, you need to make sure your code is set up.
I think what we're going to do, I think Norm and I, we've got lots of videos in mind. I think one of the videos we're going to do is a VAT business video. So it's going to go through all the stuff you need to do, how to set up, what you need to do, what changes, what doesn't change. And it'll be like a how-to guide for VAT registered sellers, I think, because there's so many different elements, all of which are small and easy, but you just need to know them. So there's loads of stuff I can do now, but I didn't know until Norm told me. So so I think that's a really helpful video for people who are about to go VAT registered or who already are, just a way of telling you what you need to do. None of it's particularly difficult. It's just you just need to know how and where to get it.
It always seems daunting at first, but nothing.
Yeah, massive. Yeah. That's exciting, fantastic. So so I'll put a link in with the post. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Norm. I'm really grateful. If anyone wants to dig a bit deeper into it, we've got an idea of what videos we're going to bring out in what order, but if there's anything there that's kind of got you interested or questions pop up, put them underneath the post and we'll go through them and maybe answer some of the questions in some other videos. I'm sure if you've got the question, other people will have too. So don't think it's a silly question or a small question. If you're thinking it, other people will. And I'm sure Norm's had every single question under the sun with his STK.
Yeah, many times multiplied as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, perfect. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll see you later. Take care. Thanks.
Right. Cheers. Bye.